Over the past 5 months, I've used the Comica VM40 to record sound for pieces to camera, just like this one. I've used it to record dialogue for short films, voiceovers for commercial work, as well as a bit of Foley. I've never used a Supercardioid shotgun microphone before, and I just threw it into a shoot. And that's one of my weaknesses, actually, not learning how to properly use a new piece of kit before giving it a baptism of fire on an actual shoot with stakes and responsibilities and timescales. And as you can imagine, the way I set up the VM40 at first was suboptimal. Today's Super Telephoto Masterclass is all about the macro add-ons. So if you like bad puns, you could call it a miniature masterclass. But thankfully, the VM40 is really good. So even in my ill-prepared hands, it recorded usable sound. And after 5 months of use, my setup of the VM40 is definitely still suboptimal, but I'm learning all the time and I love how it sounds. And I can definitely hear a noticeable improvement.
I just needed some alone time, so... No, I don't believe you. Give me them. Now you want to change things. Please, it had... Oh, don't you dare say it had to happen. Don't you dare. Just fuck off, Emma. Just fuck all the way off to whenever the fuck you're from. Just leave me alone.
Incredibly sharp. Fine details and textures look fantastic. Noise is minimal and dynamic range is excellent. I've got loads of scope to push and pull the tones and adjust the colours.
If only fixing everything in life was as simple as swiping. One of those mornings, swipe left. Nope, still tired. Messy room. Still looks like a bomb's gone off. It's not better on the other side.
Previously, I recorded almost everything on the Rode Wireless Pro mic system and Rode Lavalier Go mics. It's a 32-bit float system, just like the VM40, and I love the sound quality, the ease of use, the onboard recording, the battery life, and the flexibility that the system gives me. You can hear it in action in dozens of my videos. Anytime you see me or another on-camera talent outdoors, we are using that system. Even in voiceovers. For example, here, we start with a shot of me and Heather, and even after we transition to B-roll, we're still speaking in the same place wearing the lavs.
What would it look like if you could take your phone's camera further than ever before?
It would look like this. The Reflex G Series 240mm Super Telephoto lens. The little lens with the giant reach that pushes the best phone cameras beyond their limits by... And I do that to keep things sounding consistent and to save time. And the reason I'm talking about the Rode Wireless Pro in this Comica VM40 review, even though they are two different types of microphones, is because I've been using them together simultaneously during the same shoots, and I've been left with 2 audio tracks to choose from later, and I've really enjoyed learning which situation is best for which type of microphone and how the two compare. For example, this is the sort of video that I would usually use the Rode Wireless Pros for.
Reflex Pro camera is a DSLR for your pocket. Crafted for enthusiasts, creatives and pros, Reflex Pro camera offers full manual controls.
But this time I used the VM40, and Heather just sat there outdoors in the centre of Manchester next to a very active railway line, reading the script, just like she would have with the Wireless Pro.
Photos and duplicates. Swipe's AI-powered cleanup groups similar shots and shows you the best one, so you can instantly discard the rest.
And I prefer the sound from the VM40 over the Rode Wireless Pro system. But I don't know why, because I'm not able to describe or analyze audio. I just know what I like, and when I listen to these tracks side by side, I prefer the VM40. I want to talk about ease of use and productivity, because when you're in my position doing everything myself with a limited time and budget, I need to balance quality with efficiency. And it's here that the VM40 has really shined for me. The 2-button configuration on the mic itself can be quite fiddly, and I often find myself accidentally activating certain functions I didn't mean to. But it's a minor gripe, because once I learned how to use it, I've never been so productive with a microphone. This is how easy it is to set this thing up. I'm going to hold this bottom button to turn it on. The blue light will come on. I get the LED screen lighting up, and then I'm going to hold down the record button. And now I'm good to go. I just mount it to my shotgun mount, and that's it. And it is that simple and that quick in all situations. And you've not even got to do it that way. There's a few different ways you can do it. For example, when I'm in here and the VM40 is in its shock mount boomed over me, I can't really see the LED screen or its buttons. So I refer to the Comica app, which pairs instantly. I can see battery life, recording time, I can start and stop recording, I can turn on and off some functions as well. It also comes with a receiver you can start and stop recording from, and you get an on-camera track with the receiver if you connect it to your camera. And I do use that track for syncing, but I don't use it as the final audio track in my videos because it doesn't sound as good as the 32-bit track that I get directly from the mic itself. To get that 32-bit track off the VM40, you need to hold down the 2 buttons simultaneously until it enters copy mode, connect it to your computer using the included USB-C cable, and then drag and drop. And I find this easy now, but when I first got the VM40, it was a headache because I didn't know about copy mode, so that took a while. Then once I managed to connect it to the Mac, it wouldn't mount, the Mac wouldn't recognize it, and then when it eventually did, it would always disconnect while I was transferring files. But since I upgraded the firmware, which is really easy to do, I haven't had any issues, and I find the setup and the workflow really productive, especially when I need to re-record. You see, when I'm editing, I will sometimes realize I need to make a correction or I want to add something else. Because I have my setup fixed to my desk, I just come in here, turn the mic on, record what I want to say, and then within minutes, the updated dialogue is in my timeline. Finally, a quick note on the battery life. It is rated at 10 hours in wireless mode versus 32 hours in wired mode. And I've only ever used it in wireless mode, and the longest I've had it on continuously for is 6 hours. And after that shoot, the Comica app told me I had 2 hours of battery life left. So I've had no problems whatsoever with the battery life. And the receiver also has similarly excellent battery life. The only issues I found, which is my fault, I leave my equipment on, sometimes I leave my camera on, and the mics as well, and I come to record again and they're both dead. But the great thing is you can use and record with these things while they're charging, which has saved me a few times. So those are my experiences with the Comica VM40. Thank you so much for watching. Ozibuna, Shea Beckerand.